Countdown begins. Airspace closed. Will Pakistan now gasp for breath? Imagine this: the sound of an aircraft soaring through the sky suddenly fades. On the radar, it's not just any aircraft. It's a Pakistan International Airlines flight that has just been barred from Indian airspace. Within hours, flight routes were redirected, planes went off course, and a new kind of pressure began, one that would echo far beyond the runway and deep into Pakistan's economy. This isn't just a story about airspace. It's about a decisive move by India that has shaken Pakistan. Today, we'll dive deep into this development. But before we begin, if you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe so you receive all our latest video updates first. Let's get started without delay. The terror attack in Pahalgam shocked the entire nation. The martyrdom of Indian soldiers filled the public with rage, and the government turned that anger into action. First, India suspended the Indus Water Treaty, the same treaty that, for decades, had been considered a fragile but enduring agreement between the two nations. Then, the Indian armed forces were granted full freedom to act against terrorism. And now, the third strike came from the skies. India decided to close its airspace to Pakistani aircraft. This move wasn't just a routine strategic decision. It was a calculated strike aimed directly at Pakistan's weak spot. That's because Pakistan's flagship carrier, PIA, Pakistan International Airlines, is already knee-deep in a financial crisis. Data shows that by 2023, PIA had accumulated a debt of 785 billion Pakistani rupees. And this wasn't a temporary loss. It was a swamp the airline had been stuck in for over a decade. In 2024, PIA suddenly claimed a profit of 26.2 billion Pakistani rupees, creating the impression that the airline might be making a comeback. But when the details were investigated, it was revealed that this profit wasn't earned. It came from the government absorbing a large portion of the airline's debt. In other words, money appeared in the books, but it wasn't actually earned. The burden of debt still weighs heavily on PIA, and India's airspace closure is only going to make that burden heavier. The impact of India's decision was evident even before it was officially announced. Pakistani flights had already begun avoiding Indian airspace. Flight tracking data revealed that 6 Pakistan International Airlines flights from Islamabad and Lahore to Kuala Lumpur had changed their routes, now flying over the Tibetan Plateau via China instead of crossing Indian territory. This new route is not only longer, but also more expensive. Each flight now takes around 3 additional hours, resulting in a threefold increase in fuel, staff, and operational costs. Now the question arises, will only PIA be affected by this? The answer is yes. Because PIA is the only airline in Pakistan that operated flights through Indian airspace. Unlike India, Pakistan doesn't have a large private aviation network. On the other hand, Indian airlines, with fleets of thousands of aircraft, operate on global routes, and most of them are barely affected by Pakistan's airspace restrictions. If we compare the two, it's like a battle between an elephant and a mouse. India's aviation sector is the third largest in the world, whereas Pakistan ranks around 50th globally. While India operates hundreds of international flights daily, Pakistan has only 53 commercial aircraft, 32 of which belong to PIA. These numbers speak for themselves. For India, this is a strategic move. For Pakistan, it's a question of survival. This step by India isn't just economic, it's a sharp diplomatic strike as well. A pilot, on condition of anonymity, revealed that this decision has significantly increased the flight duration and fuel costs for PIA flights, which will inevitably reduce the airline's profits. He sarcastically added, "It seems Pakistan has no intention of making a profit. They keep shooting themselves in the foot with foolish decisions." Speaking of 2019, when Pakistan had closed its airspace after the Pulwama attack, India suffered no significant loss. But Pakistan, on the other hand, incurred a loss of nearly 250 crore rupees in overflight revenue. In short, history has already made it clear who holds the upper hand in such a conflict. For Pakistan, this current decision feels like a double blow. On one hand, PIA is already sinking in debt, and on the other, India has shut down its airspace. India has alternatives, economic strength, and a global aviation network, while Pakistan relies on a single airline, which itself is drowning in debt. With longer flight routes, not only will operational costs increase, but passenger numbers will also decline. The airline will be left with no choice but to raise ticket prices, yet another burden for the average Pakistani citizen. This entire episode makes one thing clear: India's current policy is more aggressive than before, yet calculated and strategic. Not direct confrontation, but sustained pressure on every front. Be it water, land, or air, India is steadily working on a policy to surround Pakistan from all directions. And in all of this, the deepest blow is always delivered where it hurts the most, on the economic system. India's airspace restriction doesn't appear to be a short-term move. Experts believe that until Pakistan takes concrete action against terrorism, India may continue to tighten this policy. The impact won't just be limited to Pakistani flights, it will also damage Pakistan's international image. Think about it. When an international traveler wants to fly from Malaysia to Pakistan and ends up with a 3-hour longer journey, will they choose that flight again? The answer is obvious. And that's exactly the kind of dilemma that is now PIA's biggest headache. If the situation remains unchanged, it's highly likely that Pakistan International Airlines may have to either drastically scale back its operations in the coming years or shut down entirely. The government might try to mask its debt with manipulated numbers and show a paper profit, but the ground reality is this: India's strategic move has brought Pakistan's flight crashing back down to earth. And most importantly, this is just the beginning. If Pakistan refuses to change its course, it's hard to predict how many more strategic steps India might take in the future. Because when a nation becomes fully prepared to defend itself on all fronts, it never runs out of options, but its enemies quickly run out of excuses. Now the question remains, will Pakistan make a new move? Or will India's no-fly strategy trap it in its own web?
If our video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestions. And yes, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every new story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources: news from various news agencies, opinion polls, and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.